tell me if this was a dream job or not. I know that as a young man, obviously before you had made it, you worked at the Guinness plant. Is that right?
There was a Guinness bottling plant in my hometown, whereby the Guinness would be brought up in these huge tankers from the Guinness breweries in Dublin,
right,
to our establishment, where the Guinness would be bottled.
Mm-hmm.
And the Guinness would then come down in crates, 24 bottles, per crate, and to be stacked on pallets. And I drove a forklift truck, so once the pallets were filled with, I would go in and lift the pallet of Guinness, and it would be stored at 54 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 days. Yeah. And then it would be distributed to various pubs and stuff,
Yeah.
But it was a great job. I loved it.
I would say, I mean, you just hear about, well, the forklift sounds fun, but also working in a Guinness factory just sounds like Willy Wonka. It sounds like it's the Irish version of Willy Wonka. But Willy Wonka just makes one kind of beer, but all the kids get to drink it.
Yeah.
It is funny. I always laugh when I'm back in Ireland and I see lots of advertisements for Guinness, and I think you don't need to advertise it. It just seems.
I know.
Why are there ads everywhere? Hey, have you tried Guinness? Would you like some? You should try it. We know. It's the touchstone of this whole country is Guinness.
There used to be an ad. I don't know if you would have got it here. I'm talking late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And the ad for Guinness, program's on, go to a commercial break. And the screen would just go black. And it would stay black. And you'd be wanting to go over and bang the side of the television. Mm-hmm. And as you're about to do that, you suddenly start to see these little bubbles. So what it was a pint of Guinness, the camera slowly moving up to reveal the white head.
Yeah.
That was the ad.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was it.
They did show that
this
here.
30 seconds of blackness was brought to you by Guinness. That was it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's funny because I know that for years, I don't think they do anymore, but they encouraged, they said, oh, it's fine. Even if you're pregnant, it's good for the baby. It's good for the breast milk. Sure. If you've,
iron, full of iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first son was born in Hollis Street,
mm-hmm.
a very famous maternity hospital in Dublin. And my wife, God love her, was, it wasn't she gave birth to our son, Michael. But she was very, very anemic. We didn't realize this.
Mm-hmm.
And she needed something like 12 units of blood. And I was about to start shooting Michael Collins. I had cycled back home once the baby was born and all that. Everything was okay. And suddenly there was this emergency. These 5-6 nurses apparently come in. My wife saying, call my husband, please call my husband. And they're going, it's all right. Don't worry. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all right.
Yeah.
But they started giving her a bottle of Guinness every day.
I'm picturing it hanging up like an IV.
No.
That's what they do in Ireland. Don't worry. Yes, anybody, they bring them in. Motorcycle accident. They put a thing of Guinness up, run an IV into your arm.
I'll be all right.
Just a scratch.
Off your head, Tom.
Massive internal damage. Give him some Guinness. He's all right now. He's all right. We were talking just before we got started about there was an event we did because you have this great Spielberg association that, because you were played Oscar Schindler in Schindler's List and Oscar Schindler. You don't remember? God, you've had too much Guinness. This is a big moment in your career. You should remember this, Liam.
Oh, that black and white movie. Yes.
Yeah. He couldn't afford color film.
Yes.
It was a weird time for him to cheap out on such an important movie. No, such a beautiful, such a fantastic movie, and you were so brilliant in that role. And I know that but you and I got invited to this big Spielberg event, and they sat us next to each other.
Yeah.
Someone thought, we'll put Neeson next to O'Brien. Put the Irish together. But it was a pretty heavy table we were at because I was the MC for the event. You were speaking at the event. I think Springsteen was. So at our table was Bruce Springsteen, Patty, myself, because I'm the MC. That's how I got in.
Yeah.
You're there, of course. and Steven Spielberg, President Barack Obama comes and sits at the table.
Yeah.
And you and I'll never forget, we're sitting next to each other wondering, how the fuck did we get to this table?
I know.
And
so I'm feeling that side.
I know. We just both naturally, everyone else at the table feels like this is the table we should be at. Yeah. And you and I are there. We're both 6'4", but we both shrank. Yes. And we both felt like it's a mistake that we're here.
I know. I still feel like that if I'm in illustrious company. Still feel that. You know?
What is that? Why do we? Because there are people who don't feel
not
that
worthy.
Way. Yeah, exactly. But we don't feel. We're always feeling that way. I'm always thinking that I came in through the back. That I quickly got out of my waiter's uniform and put. I never feel like I should be there.
I know. And Sir Tony Hopkins, mm-hmm. one of the great actors. I was in a film 40 years ago, Tahiti. A remake of Mutiny on the Bounty. Mm-hmm. Mel Gibson, Dante Lewis, extraordinary cast. And Tony was fucking magnificent as Captain Bligh.
Yeah.
Mel was Fletcher Christian. But anytime I run into Tony Hopkins, and I saw him in Rome 3 weeks ago, I was finishing a film, and Tony was in the same hotel. And I went up to his room, knocked on the door, met him, and give each other a big hug. And it's been close to 40 years since I'd seen him. How's it going, Tony? You know what he says to me?
What?
He leans on me. He says, good lad. I haven't been found out yet.
I haven't been found out.
And he means it.
Yeah, of course he means
2 fucking Academy Awards.
Yeah.
I've seen him on stage. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
But he means it.
He means it. And I've talked about this before. There are people, I know Chris Rock used to say it to me when he'd come on the show. He'd lean over and go like, well, they haven't found me out yet. And it's just, I know that, and I think it's the people I like the most have that.
Yeah.
It's almost, they're not too comfortable. No. They think.
And you don't want to be. I don't want to be. I made over 100 films.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, on set, if someone's not going well, I think, go on, say something. Say fucking something, Liam. You've done 100 fucking movies. I thought, well, excuse me, do you mind if I just say something? I think if she comes in the door first, that'll solve your camera problem. Let's try it. Okay, it works. just saying.
I'm so sorry. And also...
But I don't mean it in a...
No, I know.
I'm humble. It's like...
I know this for a fact, when I was 32 years old in New York City, I was with my girlfriend at the time and looking at a menu, and they had a meal that was they had an entree that was just perfect, had all these different ingredients, but it had some black olives in it, and I don't like black olives. And she said, well, you'll love that. And I said, no, it's got black olives. I won't order that. And she said, just tell them, can you just leave the olives off? And I said, I can't do that. 33. And she said, yeah, you can. And I said, she'll hate me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me that long to try and figure out that you're allowed to say some things. Yeah. You're allowed to. Now I'm a total prick when I go to a restaurant.
So I hear.
Yeah. The word's out on me. I want this pasta with no pasta.